My name is Ryder Vale, the youngest son in a family that pretends blood is thicker than betrayal. While my brothers inherited the confidence, power, and the spotlight, I grew up learning how to survive in the shadows they pushed me into. I've spent my whole life being the quiet one, the overlooked one, the one they expected to fail. And maybe that's why I clung so fiercely to the only thing that ever felt truly mine, my son Kai. Still, even I didn't realize how deep the rot in my family ran. Not until the night I came home unannounced and found the first clue that would shatter everything I thought I knew. And that was before I learned my son was fighting for his life. The rain had stopped 5 minutes before I pulled into the driveway, but the house looked like it hadn't breathed in days. Lights off, curtains drawn, no bike on the porch, no shadow by the window. I cut the engine, listened, only the ticking of the cooling hood. I hadn't told anyone I was coming back early from Tokyo. Not even Kai. He loved surprises. I had a stuffed dragon in my luggage for him, the one he'd circled in red from some old toy catalog he carried like a Bible. Key in the lock. Click. Door eased open. Inside was colder than outside. No smell of popcorn, no cartoons. Just silence. I stepped in. Shoes still by the door. His sneakers, mud on the soles. The cereal bowl on the counter had dried milk crusted on the rim. Mail stacked by the microwave. Last opened 3 days ago. I felt it then. That punch behind the ribs. Something was wrong. The back door was slightly open. Wind brushed through. I followed it. Upstairs his room was untouched. Toy cars on the rug. Lamp glowing faint orange from a dying bulb. But the bed, unmade. Sheets tangled like someone left in a rush. I turned. That's when I saw it. A crumpled envelope wedged beneath the stair rail, like someone had dropped it and never came back for it. My name, printed in pen. Dad. I opened it. Harborview Medical Center Emergency Department, ICU, room 412. Your son is in our care. Please contact the front desk immediately. I sat down, or maybe my legs just stopped working. There was no call, no text, no message. Just this. A paper trail left like a breadcrumb, my son in a hospital bed, and I'm, reading it in the damn hallway. I stood, heart pounding too loud, my hands shaking. I grabbed my phone, called everyone. Voicemail, more voicemail. One call went through, my neighbor, Mrs. Pollard. She sounded confused. Oh, Ryder, I thought you all moved out last week. There was some man, a few nights ago, took the boy in an ambulance, said he was family. What man? I don't know. He had your address. Said his name was Silas? No, Silas. Tall, serious eyes. Real polite. I didn't say goodbye. I just hung up, grabbed the keys. The dragon toy fell from my bag and rolled under the couch. I didn't pick it up. I got into the car, started it, and told myself to breathe. But I couldn't. Not when my boy was out there. Not when someone else signed his name on my family. Not when I had no idea who the hell Silas Crow was. He took my son. He signed for him. And I have no idea who the hell he is. The elevator doors opened like jaws. 4th floor. ICU. No music, no beeping, no welcome. Just white lights humming like fluorescent anxiety. I walked in. Tight halls, blue uniforms, rubber soles against linoleum. Every surface polished like they were trying to erase what happened inside. A nurse glanced up from the station. Ryder Vale. I'm looking for my son. Kai Vale. Room 412. She froze. A flicker in her eyes. Then the fake professionalism kicked in. Follow me. We passed a man wheeling a blood cart. A woman sobbing into her sleeve. Every step felt like descending. The door to room 412 was slightly ajar. Inside, tubes, machines. Wires like veins outside the body. My son, 10 years old, barely recognizable. His face was swollen on one side, bruising under his left eye, IV in his arm, monitor chirping every 6 seconds. He wasn't awake. I stepped forward, touched his hand. Cold. No parent is ever ready to see their child like that. And no child should ever lie in a bed alone for days without someone at their side. The nurse checked a chart. He stabilized this morning, but it was critical the first 2 nights. There was internal bleeding, a concussion, left leg fractured in 2 places. What happened? The man who brought him in said it was a stair fall. At home. My mouth dried. Who brought him? She hesitated. Silas Crow. He signed the intake, said he was the legal guardian, presented ID, emergency release forms. Silas Crow isn't real. He's not family. He's not even... I stopped, swallowed. He's not his father. Her face cracked. Sir, we didn't know. I stepped closer. Where is he now? He left, right after surgery clearance. That night. I stared at her. And you didn't call me? We didn't have your number. The emergency contact was changed. I backed up. What do you mean changed? She pulled up the digital file, showed me. The listed emergency contact was an out-of-state number. Name, Silas Crow. Relation, legal guardian. There was a second name, mine, under removed contacts. How the hell does that happen? I'm sorry, Mr. Vale, but without a court order, anyone listed with documentation. That wasn't court-ordered. That's forged. She looked away. A monitor beeped. Louder. Kai twitched, moaned. I leaned over. Kai, I'm here. Dad's here. His eyes didn't open. I turned back to the nurse. I want full access. Now. You'll have to speak with administration in the morning. Visiting hours are almost over. I stepped into the hallway, grabbed my phone, called Vera, straight to voicemail. I texted, Emergency, Hospital Kai. Someone forged guardianship. Call now. I paced. The ICU hallway was too quiet. Then, my phone rang. Unknown number. I picked up. Static. A breath. Then a voice. Low, rough, intentional. Back off. Who is this? Leave the hospital, walk away, or your boy stops breathing. Click. I stared at the phone. Turned slowly. Behind me, a janitor pushed a cart past room 414. He didn't look at me. Didn't need to. The moment you feel like someone's watching, you're probably already too late. I marched back into 412, locked the door behind me, sat beside Kai, and that's when I noticed it. The clipboard on the counter, intake notes, paper clipped, a sticky note half crumpled, scrawled in black ink. Change went through. Records updated. His name is off. No signature, just a hospital code at the bottom. I took out my phone, snapped a picture. My hand was shaking again. Kai shifted. A whisper escaped his lips. I leaned in. Nothing. Outside, a soft tap on the glass. I turned. No one, but the blind swayed. I looked back at my son. Someone rewrote me out of his life, on paper, in person, and now they wanted me to vanish too. Someone stole my name. Someone stole my son. I didn't sleep, not even with the door locked and a chair shoved under the handle. Kai stirred twice, never fully waking. Once he whispered something that sounded like stairs. Then nothing, not even a blink. I left before dawn. The hospital lobby was empty, lit by security lights. It smelled like floor wax and secrets. I moved fast. Hood up, hands steady, 4th floor again. ICU admin office. Keypad on the door. I pulled a paperclip from my pocket. An old trick I hadn't used in 15 years. Click, inside, dark, empty. One monitor humming. I slid into the chair. Logged in with credentials I remembered from my short stint volunteering here 2 years ago. Just enough to bluff the system. Kai's records. 2 versions. The original one with my name listed as Guardian. Timestamp 5 months ago. Then, the modified file. New Guardian, Silas Crow. Date, 3 days ago. Edited through a temporary admin account, logged under a local IP. No badge ID. Flagged, but approved. Someone inside helped. I printed both versions, stuck them in my jacket, pulled the audit logs. A nurse's login popped out. Fallon. I knew her. Not well, but enough. People don't betray you out of nowhere, my father once said. They get paid or they get scared, sometimes both. Security camera feed, wiped, but the backups weren't digital. This hospital still used analog tapes for long-term records. Slower to erase, harder to hack. I left the office. Cutscene, basement, archive storage, a single bulb flickering above steel racks. I found the tape dated 3 nights ago. ICU hallway. I shoved it into the viewing deck. It rolled, blurred figures. 11:42 p.m. A man, tall, hooded but not rushed, walked in with Kai slumped over his shoulder. He wasn't dragging. He wasn't running. He walked like it was routine. Then he turned, just enough for the light to hit his face, and my blood ran cold. I knew that face, the jawline, the scar above the brow. It wasn't Silas. It was Darius, my older brother. I hadn't seen him in 2 years. Not since the fight. The last time he tried to sue for custody after Mom died, and now he was here, wearing someone else's name, carrying my son. I backed away. My pulse was hammering. Why? Why go this far? I pulled the tape, shoved it into my pocket, moved fast up the stairs. Then, darkness. The power on the basement level flickered, a noise behind me, not footsteps, breathing. I turned. Nothing. I ran. Cut. Main floor. I texted Vera. Call me. Urgent. Darius involved. Kai not safe. No answer. Outside, the sun had started to rise. The sky turned violent orange behind the towers. I slid into my car. Drove. Fallon's name still rang in my head. I remembered her last workplace listed in a holiday card pinned to the staff board. A senior home in Tacoma. She transferred right after Kai's intake night. Coincidence was dead. It had been murdered the second someone forged my guardianship. I found her residence online, a shared rental property near the dockyards. I didn't wait. I knocked hard. She opened the door in a bathrobe, eyes hollow, hands trembling. "Ryder," she whispered. "I was going to call. Who paid you?" "No one. Not at first. You changed the contact logs. I didn't know what he'd do. You'd let him take my son." Tears welled up. "He said it was temporary. He had papers. They looked legit. He said you were under investigation. He showed files." "Darius!" Her lips clamped. "Fallon, where is he now?" She didn't get to answer. Glass shattered in the back room. We both turned. A masked man burst through, gun raised, silencer fitted. Fallon screamed. I tackled her to the floor as a bullet thudded into the wall above. Another shot. Missed. I grabbed a lamp, threw it, smashed into his arm. He grunted. He ran. I chased him out the back, through an alley. Rain. Garbage bins. He slipped. I dove. We rolled. He punched. Hard. Mask slipped. Not Darius. Younger, but familiar. I saw the eyes. He scrambled, dropped something, ran, gone. I stood, bleeding from my mouth, looked down at what he left. A duffel bag. Inside, documents, IDs, passports, a burner phone, hospital badge with Fallon's name, a USB drive. I opened it. Images, forged documents, transfers of property, guardianship, and a morgue photo. Silas Crow, deceased, 4 months ago. My son's legal guardian is a corpse, and the man trying to take him is my brother wearing his face. The moment I saw Darius's face on that security tape, I knew the rules had changed. This wasn't about custody. It wasn't about power. It was about erasure. Cut scene. Narrow road outside the city. Late morning. The rain had stopped, but the sky still hung low like bruised skin. I drove north toward the only place Darius would think I'd never go. Our childhood home. A decaying ranch house on the edge of Renton long since abandoned after the estate battle turned ugly. I hadn't stepped foot there in 6 years. But people like Darius always circle back to where they believe they lost everything. The front gate was unlocked. Overgrown weeds cracked through concrete like veins. A black SUV was parked in the back alley. I cut the engine. No neighbors, no sound, no help. When you can't find your enemy in the light, you chase him into the dark. I walked through the side. Entered through the broken sunroom door. Rotten curtains flapped. Dust carried the scent of rot, old wood, and regret. Then I heard it. A voice. Low. Calm. "You always were the dog chasing the car, Ryder. The trick is, once you catch it, you never know what to do next." Darius stood in the hallway, sipping from a chipped mug. Casual, shirt wrinkled, like he hadn't stolen my son's life out from under me. "You forged a death certificate," I said. "You wore a dead man's name. You brought a child into this. Your own nephew." He smiled. "Not forged, just acquired. Silas died a quiet death in Oregon. No family, no history. The kind of man the system forgets. You stole his identity. I borrowed it. Just long enough to clean up your mess." He stepped closer. "You think being a father makes you noble. You think Kai needs your scraps of moral superiority? He needs his father, not a ghost with my brother's face." Darius slammed the mug down. "You don't get to call yourself that. You think Mom left everything to you because you earned it? She pitied you. You were the charity case, the little broken thing she kept out of guilt." My fists clenched. She knew you were weak, Ryder, and so did Kai's mother, I snapped, punched him hard in the jaw. He staggered back, laughed, blood on his teeth. You feel strong now, he asked, wiping his mouth. You should have killed me when you had the chance. I still might. I'm not the villain here, he said. You lost control of your life. I just made sure Kai didn't have to sink with you. You endangered him. You left him alone in that ICU. You disappeared. He didn't need me. He needed the illusion of safety, and the system gave me that. You think this ends with you walking free? No, I think it ends with me walking away. With full guardianship. He turned, opened a drawer. I reached for my belt, gun still tucked at my hip. Darius pulled out a folder, tossed it to the floor. Bank statements, transfer, authorizations, the forged guardianship papers. They're not forged, they're notarized, filed. You think I just fooled the hospital? I filed a motion. The judge approved it yesterday. I opened the folder. The documents were stamped, dated, sealed. If Kai isn't out of the ICU in 48 hours, he said, I have clearance to move him to another facility, out of state, where you'll never touch him again. My hands trembled. He leaned in. And no one's going to question it because the world already thinks you're a man on the edge. You've broken into a hospital, assaulted a nurse, trespassed here. You're unstable. The paper trail proves it. You built the story around me. People don't believe truth, he said. They believe consistency. I backed toward the door. He didn't follow. I'll burn it all before I let you take him, I said. You better start now, he whispered. Time's running out. I walked out, every step heavier than the last. He was right about one thing. They wouldn't believe me. Not unless I had more than words. I needed proof. Cut scene. Nightfall. I returned to Vera's office. The lights were on. Door unlocked. Inside, chaos. Paper scattered. Laptop gone. Desk drawer pried open. And one thing left behind. A photo. Of me. Standing outside Harborview. Taken that morning. Handwritten on the back. He's not the only one being watched. I'm not losing my son in a courtroom or a coffin. The photo on Vera's desk haunted me. It wasn't just that it was me in the shot. It was the angle, taken from across the street, from elevation. That meant someone had been waiting, watching. Long before I walked through Harborview's front doors. I checked the time, 7:44 p.m. Kai had less than 48 hours before Darius could legally move him. And Vera was gone. Cut scene, Tacoma. A rust-stained apartment complex on the edge of the shipyard. Fallon's last known address, pulled from old HR forms Vera once helped me file for hospital records. I parked half a block away, watched the windows. No movement, no lights, but her car still there. I knocked once, twice. Then I tried the door. Locked. The hallway light flickered. Someone coughed on the floor above. Third knock, this time harder. Fallon, it's Ryder Vale. I'm not leaving. Silence. Then, click. She opened the door just wide enough for me to see the chain lock. Her face was gaunt, eyes hollow, like she hadn't slept since the night Kai was brought in. I don't want trouble, she whispered. You already have it. I held up the duffel bag. Recognize this. She stared, didn't deny it. I know Darius used your badge. I know you helped update the logs. I need the full picture. Now. I thought it was temporary. He said he was taking Kai to protect him. From you. Her voice cracked on the word you. You believed him? He had files, documents, said you were unstable, that you'd been investigated before. That was dropped. No charges. And you didn't call me Fallon. I didn't know what to believe. That's always the excuse, I said. People don't want the truth. They want something easy to sign. Cut scene. She let me in. I scanned the room. Photos face down. Laptop dismantled on the table. 2 cell phones, both smashed. Paranoia wasn't new here. It had a zip code. Darius was here yesterday, she said. He came to warn me. Said he was going to finish the transfer. Said if I talked, he couldn't protect me. From what? She didn't answer. I stepped toward the kitchen, stopped. Blood. A smear across the floorboards, just past the fridge. I motioned for her to stay back. Followed the trail. To the basement door. It was cracked open. A cold breath of air crawled up. I opened it fully. Flicked the switch. Nothing. Down the stairs. Flashlight on. The blood trail curved to the back wall, to a tarp thrown over something bulky. I pulled it off. A body. Male. Mid-40s. White. thin, his face bruised, his ID pinned to his shirt. Silas Crow. Not an alias. The real man. Dead. I staggered back. Fallon's voice shook from above. I didn't know he was there. I didn't go down, I swear. How long has he been here? I don't know. He showed me a week ago. Said he had nothing to lose. You helped him hide a body? I didn't call the cops, if that's what you're asking. You did not help. Cut scene. I scanned the body. Wrist bruises, ligature marks. No defensive wounds. He hadn't fought back. Maybe he didn't have the chance, or maybe he trusted the person who killed him. I took photos. Every angle. Then opened the duffel bag again. Checked the burner phone. No password. Call logs. One recurring number. I memorized it. Exit scene. Back upstairs. Fallon huddled by the sink, arms wrapped around herself. He said he was going to make it legal, she mumbled, that no one would question a dead man if the system already signed off on him first. I looked at her. You're going to testify. I can't. You will, because if you don't, the next name Darius erases will be yours. She nodded, small, broken. I left the apartment, locked the door behind me, called the number I'd memorized. It rang twice. Then a voice. You should have stayed gone, Ryder. The line went dead. I stood there, the air too still, too quiet. Then I heard it, a car door slam behind me. I turned just in time to see a figure sprint into the alley. I chased. Fast. Wet pavement, underfoot. He turned the corner. I followed. Then, gunshot. I dove. A bullet whistled past, hit the dumpster beside me. Metal screamed. I drew mine. Fired once. The shadow ducked and ran. Gone. Cut scene. I returned to my car, soaked and shaking. Checked my phone. One message from Vera. Text only. They're moving Kai tonight. My son's legal guardian is a corpse. And the man trying to take him is my brother wearing his face. Pulse pounding. Night draped the hospital like a shroud. I stood in the parking lot, hoodie tight, breath alone lighting up in the cold air. My hand closed around the hospital ID badge forged under Darius's name. Tonight, I slip inside. First step, cross the lobby during shift change. Few glances. I keep my head down. I'm someone who belongs. I borrowed the mask he built for me. Hallway lights flicker. A stuttered heartbeat. I pass security cameras, careful, silent. Every footstep echoes. There is no music here. Only humidity, cold metal, and the unseen watchers. I find a gear closet. Wrench from supply shelf. Change shoes to hospital slip-ons. White coat over dark jacket. I don't look like a criminal. I look like a nurse on paperwork duty. I slip into the elevator, level 8, medical transfer wing. Heart thumping. The doors open. Red exit sign. Exit to transport bay. I walk fast. Each corridor smells like bleach and fear. Then, the stretcher. Covered. Guards flanking it. 2 black SUVs waiting outside. Doors open. They wheel the stretcher, Kai under the sheet. I step forward. Front guard raises baton. Rage burns my lungs. I'm his father, I say. Voice calm but steel inside. The words land like a warning. Silence. I pull the forged badge. The guard hesitates. Here? I nod. Behind him, another guard steps aside. The stretcher pauses. The sheet lifts a hair. A pulse monitor bleeps faintly. My gloves reach under. I see Kai's arm pale. I place my fingers under his wrist. A faint flutter. I shift the sheet quickly, reach for the IV line, yank it free. Suddenly, shouts. Flash of movement. Someone lunges. My phone flashes in hand, recorded. Guard hits until the camera arm swings, but it's too late. The assault is on tape. I drag Kai toward the exit, past gurneys, scattered bodies, sterile walls. Alarms whirl, red lights strobe. Nurses screaming. Doors blare open. One guard reaches. I duck. Knee connects. He crumples. Out the sliding doors, rain, cold, relief. My raincoat shields Kai. I carry him to the car. Insert the key. Engine roars, tires spin. Behind me, headlights flare. Pursuit. 2 SUVs. Doors slam. I accelerate. Wet asphalt sprays. Kai coughs. Eyes flutter. Weak, confused. I hold him close. Dad's here, I whisper. I got you. Headlights vanish. I don't stop until red and blue flashes flood the road. Police. They surround me. Flashlights pierce the darkness. Guns drawn. Put the child down gently. One shouts. I obey. Kai slides into the back seat. I stand, hands raised. Uniforms flood the scene. Charges called in. The first officer sees the stretcher straps, the forged papers, the hospital badge found in the rear seat. They arrest him at Harborview. I yell. Darius Vale. He's the one responsible. Inside the SUVs, a man tries to bolt. Police tackle him. Handcuffs snap. His name rings out loud. Darius Vale. Sirens fade. Rain. Falls light. I carry Kai into the ambulance. Monitor beeps. Rhythm returns. The IV line reattached by paramedics. Color crawls back into Kai's cheeks. I catch my reflection in the rearview mirror. Hollow, exhausted, eyes red, but alive. I lean over. Kai opens his eyes, weak but aware. Dad, he whispers. I brush damp hair from his forehead. I'm here, son. I'll never let go again. He grips my hand. Soft, small, alive. Later, in the sterile hospital room, white walls and quiet machines, I sit beside Kai. The city streetlights shimmer through blinds, casting bars of light across the bed. The door opens. A woman with a badge. State investigator. She holds out a stack of papers. Evidence log. Photos. Audio files. Hospital records. Security tapes. Forgeries. Manslaughter charges. Identity fraud. Kidnapping. I sign. Twice. I read the words. Justice serves the innocent. Standing outside, I breathe the night air. Rain washed off months of fear. The detritus of betrayal washed away. Darius is in custody. Fallon cooperating. Hospital board under review. Legal guardianship restored to my name. But as those breathing machines beep gently behind the door, I realize something deeper. Blood ties don't guarantee safety. Sometimes the ones who vow protection become predators. Love isn't just in last names. It's in who shows up when the lights go out. Kai sleeps now. Mouth open slightly, chest rising slow. I stare at him and think. Every parent should look at their child and know they are their first defender. I leave the room. In the corridor, a janitor pushes a mop bucket. Light hums overhead. I touch the photo around my neck. The dragon toy embroidered green scales. I slip it into my pocket. Outside, dawn is crashing against windows. A new day. I whisper softly. We survived the night. We'll survive the rest. No more ghosts. No more use of dead men's names. Just truth. Because truth breathes, even when you try to suffocate it.